Okay, to interpret the simple effects for sex at the levels of pints, you would report all three F ratios. And specifically, you would conclude that men and women did significantly differ after consuming 4 pints of beer. So, more specifically, simple effects analyses with the Bonferroni adjustment demonstrated that women provided attractiveness ratings with mean of 57.50, significantly higher than men, with the associated mean there, after drinking 4 pints of beer. And we'll report the F ratio with degrees of freedom 1 and 42, and the P is less than 0.001. So here we've let the reader know that we performed simple effects analyses using a Bonferroni adjustment. The reader also now knows the mean and standard deviation for all groups and the results of the simple effect itself. All right, for the simple effect at 2 pints, you would simply say there is no significant difference between males and females. You could also report the means there as well, but you should absolutely report the F ratio. And same for the simple effect at 0 pints. It's not significant with P at 0.53. Again, this is the easiest way to report it if you have a variable that has two levels in factorial ANOVA. However, as I've said before, it really depends on your research question. For this question, you could absolutely stop here, and this would be a perfectly appropriate interpretation. On the other hand, if you wanted to report the other way, you might write out something like this. So for pints at the level of sex, you would state the result of the simple effects. In fact, you would want to say there was a simple effect for males with the F ratio of 31.36. This time, degrees of freedom are 2 and 42. And then post hoc analyses revealed that men who consumed 4 pints rated significantly lower compared to men who drank 2 pints and men who drank 0 pints. And in fact, you should also include that all p values are less than 0.05. Now let's think about why I said less than 0.05 and not less than 0.001. Remember that the output that Stata gives us only gives us a letter which tells us if the p-values are significant at zero point zero 0.05. It doesn't give us any information about the specific p-value, so it would be perfectly appropriate to report using this method. And in fact, I've already missed another thing here, another important piece of information, and specifically that we used a Bonferroni adjustment. So you would also want to say that post hoc analyses using a Bonferroni adjustment again revealed that men who consumed 4 pints rated significantly lower than both 2 and 0. And then, on the other hand, women did not differ in attractiveness ratings as a function of number of pints consumed, with a non significant p value. And this finally brings us to the end of our practical. At the end of this, you should know these results, these data, very, very well. We've visualized the data in many different ways. We've conducted simple effects analyses using 2 different methods. So we know pretty much everything there is to know about these results. Hopefully, at the end of this, you feel a little bit more comfortable about what simple effects tells us. It's, again, just another form of secondary analyses. It's another step to getting us to understand what's significant in our data set and how we can further interpret it. So now that we're at the end, if you have additional questions, be sure to reach out to your tutor and have a good week.